Hi students, today we are going to discuss about classification of elements and periodic table. Till now we discovered more than 115 elements. So it became difficult to remember the properties of each and every element. So it is compulsory, it is necessary to divide them into groups depending upon their physical and chemical properties. So many scientists divided them into groups. So we will see one by one. First one is Daubernier law of triads. Daubernier's law of triads. Here triads means group of 3 elements. That means he divided 3 elements into a group depending upon their atomic weights. He proposed that the average atomic weights of first and last element is nearly equal to the middle element. Suppose take example lithium, sodium and potassium. Lithium atomic weight is 7. Sodium atomic weight 23. Potassium atomic weight 39. According to Daubernier, the average of first and last elements atomic weights 7 plus 39 by 2, that is 46 by 2 equals to 23. That is the atomic weight of sodium. So he divided some elements like triads. But the major limitation in this classification is he could not arrange all the elements. He could not arrange all the elements in the form of triads. Okay, and this is the major drawback. Next one is Newland's law of octaves. Newland's law of octaves. Here remember one thing, oct means 8. Newland's law of octaves. He proposed that when we arrange elements in the increasing order of their atomic weights, the first element and the 8th element shows similar properties. Similar properties. The second element from the first one, okay, 8th element shows the similar properties. For example, take lithium, beryllium. This is increasing order of atomic weights I am writing. Boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium. This is the first element. Count 8th element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sodium is the 8th element. Next one is magnesium. Like that we will write. Sodium is the 8th element. According to Newland's, the properties of lithium and sodium are same. Okay, this is Newland's law of octaves. But here also some limitations are there. The first one is the elements which have atomic masses higher than calcium. Which have atomic mass higher than calcium are not showing this property. Up to calcium only the elements are showing this octave rules property. Okay, other than more than atomic weight which calcium, they are not showing this property. This is the main drawback. And the second one is he kept cobalt and nickel in same group, but these are not showing same properties. They are different in their properties. Okay, this is the second drawback. Next one is Mendeleev's periodic table. The first periodic table, which were divided into groups and periods. Mendeleev's periodic table. According to Mendeleev, the physical and chemical properties of elements are the functions of their atomic weights. That means he classified the elements depending upon the atomic weights. He draw the periodic table depending upon the atomic weights only. Okay. So, what is the Mendeleev's periodic table? Main law, the physical and chemical properties of the elements are periodic functions of their atomic weights. Coming to periodic table, he divided elements in groups and periods. In groups and periods. He gave number 1 to 8 for groups. The vertical lines are groups, and in each group 2 subgroups are given like A and B. That means 1A, 1B, like that. 2A, 2B. At last 8A, 8B. So total 18 groups are there. And periods, how many horizontal lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 periods are given. Like that, he divided the elements into groups and periods. Okay. In a group, the first element, suppose take X, and the last element is Z. If in a group, what properties the first element is showing, the remaining elements are also showing the same properties. But in periods it will not happen. It happens only in groups. In a group, all the elements are showing the same properties, but in periods the elements are not showing the same properties. And very important one in Mendeleev periodic table is he kept some place for newly discovered elements, and he gave the names also. Suppose he gave one place here, and some places he given like that, and he gave some names like Eka aluminum, Eka silicon, like that. That means the newly discovered elements will come in these gaps depending upon their properties. And Mendeleev already proposed the properties of these elements also. Suppose he told that Eka aluminum, the element which comes in the place of Eka aluminum, will have melting point is very less, and in this place we discovered gallium, which is having less melting point of 30 degrees centigrade. Okay. In this way, Mendeleev proposed the periodic table. He divided the elements into groups and periods depending upon their atomic weights, and he gave some gaps to the newly discovered elements. Okay. In future coming elements also he gave the place, and he already proposed the properties of the elements also. Okay. Okay. Coming to limitations of the Mendeleev's periodic table, the first one is atomic weights increasing order. He told we are keeping all the elements in their increasing order of their atomic weights. But coming to tellurium and iodine, is having atomic weight 127, iodine having nearly 126. But he kept tellurium first, iodine next. So in this way some elements are not arranged in a proper way of their atomic weights. This is one of the drawback. Okay. And the second drawback is elements with dissimilar properties were placed in a same group. Suppose he kept one element here A, P, and another element Q, but P and Q are not showing same properties. According to first group, he told that all the elements are showing same properties, but in some places it doesn't happen like that. So these are the drawbacks of Mendeleev's periodic table. Depending upon Mendeleev's periodic table, the next periodic table came, that one prepared by Moseley. Moseley prepared a modern atomic table, and he told that the physical properties and chemical properties of the elements are functions of their atomic number. Functions of their atomic number. According to Mendeleev, it is atomic weight, but according to Moseley, it is atomic number. The physical and chemical properties of elements are the periodic functions of atomic number. What is atomic number? Atomic number is number of protons or number of electrons. So we can define this modern periodic table in another way also. The physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic functions of their electronic configuration, or functions of their electronic configuration. Okay, this is the law of modern periodic table. This is the law of modern periodic table. Modern periodic table. At present we are using this modern periodic table. Okay, coming to modern periodic table, Moseley also divided the elements in horizontal and vertical groups. The horizontal are called groups and the vertical are called periods. Here 18 groups are given and 7 periods are given. So in each group 2 subgroups A and B. He also divided the elements like this only, depending upon their atomic number. Depending upon their atomic number. Okay, and according to Moseley, the electron at the outermost shell, the electron at the outermost shell should be underlined. Suppose take example of sodium, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. The outermost electron is 3s1. So the electron at the outermost shell is going to S subshell. It is going to S subshell. So Na belongs to S block element. Sodium belongs to S block element. If the outermost electron is P subshell, then it is P block element. D subshell, D block element. F subshell, F block element. Like that, he divided all the elements into 4 blocks: S block, P block, D block and F block. And in this periodic table, for groups some names also given. Suppose take example 1A group. It is given the name alkali metal. Alkali metal family. Alkali metal family, because these metals present in this group we are getting from plant ash. Okay, plant ash. That's why this group elements are all called alkali metals. Okay, the next one is chalcogen group. Chalcogen family. Why it is called chalcogen? Chalcogen means ores product, from which we are getting metals. That ore family is known as chalcogen. Okay, so these elements we are getting from the ore family. That's why these group elements, 6A group elements are called chalcogens. And in the same way, 7A group elements are called halogens. Here halogens means the elements which we are getting from sea water. Okay, sea water we are getting some elements. That group of elements are called halogens. And the last one is noble gas. Noble gas or inert gas we call for 8A group, because they are very less reactive. They are very less reactive, and the outer shell of these gases is following octet rule. That means there is no valency electron in this group. All subshells are completely filled. All the subshells are completely filled. Like this, we are giving names for groups. Suppose nitrogen group form are called nitrogen family, and carbon group elements are all called as carbon family, and oxygen elements, oxygen group elements are called oxygen family. Like this, they are giving names to the groups. Okay, suppose we take alkali metal, 1A group, all are alkali metals, so they all show the same types of properties. Suppose halogens we are taking 7A group, all the elements in that group will show the same properties. Depending upon the electron configuration of the elements, they are divided into metals, non-metals also, metals and non-metals also, and some are metalloids. Metalloids means that shows properties of metals and non-metals both, they are called metalloids. So when we are writing electron configuration of an element, if we see number of valence electrons is 3 or less than 3. Number of valence electron of an element is 3 or less than 3. That is called metal. If the number of electrons is more than 5 or more than 5, that is called non-metal. Here some exemptions are there for D block and F block elements, but remember this one. Okay, and some are semi-metals, that are metalloids. That means they will show the properties of both metals and non-metals also, like boron, silicon, germanium. Okay, like that. Okay, we are going to learn about periodic properties. What are periodic properties? How they are changing in groups and periods. That we are going to learn. First one is valency. What is valency? The combining capacity of an element is called valency. The combining capacity of an element is called valency. Here the combining capacity is with respect to hydrogen or oxygen. Suppose valence of an element with respect to hydrogen means, suppose when a atom is combining with hydrogen, how many hydrogens it is combining, that is called its valency. Suppose it is combining with 2 hydrogens, so the combining capacity of X is 2. This is with respect to hydrogen. When coming to with respect to oxygen, valence of element with respect to oxygen is twice the number of oxygen atoms. Twice the number of oxygen. Suppose here YO is the compound. Here Y is combining with how many oxygens? Only 1 oxygen, but twice the number. That means the combining capacity of Y is 1 into 2. Here 2. That means here coming to with respect to hydrogen means how many hydrogens it is combining. That atom, that number is called valency. But coming to oxygen, twice the number of oxygen atoms is called valency. Okay. Next one is atomic radius. Very important one, atomic radius. Here coming to atom is very small unit of the substance. We cannot find atomic radius for an atom, but we can take the average distance between the 2 nucleus of the 2 atoms, and we are taking that one as the atomic radius. Okay, the 2 atoms we are taking, and we are taking the average distance between the 2 nucleus. Okay, here atomic radius can be expressed in picometers, pk. 1 picometer equal to 10 power minus 12 meters. Okay, this is very important one. Atomic radius of an atom can be measured in picometers. Okay, 1 picometer equal to 10 power minus 12 meters. Coming to groups, in groups atomic radius will change. How it will change? Suppose here lithium is there. Here atomic number is 3. Sodium is there. Atomic number is 11. 3 means 1, 2. When the number of electrons will increase, when the number of electrons is increasing, number of shells will increase. Yes or no? Then atomic radius will automatically increase. That means in groups from top to bottom, atomic radius will increase. Coming to periods, there is change in distance between nucleus and outermost shell due to attractive property. Actually, the shell should be like this. Due to attractive property, it comes closer to the nucleus when atomic number increasing. So, due to this property, from left to right, atomic radius will decrease in periods. Okay, remember this one. In groups from top to bottom, atomic radius will increase. In periods from left to right, atomic radius will decrease. The next periodic property is ionization energy. Ionization energy. What is ionization energy? The energy required to remove one electron from the outermost orbit of an atom is called ionization energy. That means, suppose take an atom M. Here we need some energy to remove one electron from this one. To remove one electron from this one. Okay, this energy is called ionization energy. Okay, when you are removing one electron, it becomes positive ion. To remove, this is called, suppose you are removing the first outermost electron, so this is called first ionization energy. Suppose you want to remove another electron from M plus, you are removing one more electron. That means here we need some more energy. That energy is called ionization energy. This is first ionization energy. This is second ionization energy. By observing these two, we conclude that first ionization energy is less than second ionization energy. That means to remove electron from the atom is less when comparing energy required to remove electron from the ion, unipositive ion. Okay, so this is first ionization energy, and the removed second electron, the energy required to remove second electron is called second ionization energy. Here ionization energy of an atom depends on some properties. First one is nuclear charge. First one is nuclear charge. How nuclear charge affects ionization energy? That means, suppose nuclear charge is more, then we need more ionization energy, because here take one atom, here nuclear charge is more in this atom, then it will attract electron towards the nucleus. So we need more energy to remove this electron. So more the nuclear charge, we need more ionization energy. Okay. Next one is screening effect. What is screening effect? Suppose we know so many shells are present around the nucleus. They act as screens. That's why it is called screening effect. Suppose one nucleus is there. Here so many subshells are there. These acts as screens. So when you want to remove electron from the outermost cell, you need less energy, because the distance between nucleus and the electron is more and the attractive power is very less. Attraction between nucleus and electron is very less. That's why you need less energy to remove the electron. Okay, so it is easy to remove electron from the outermost cell. So more the screening effect, less is the ionization energy. Okay, this is screening effect. The next one is penetration power. Penetration power means orbitals belong to same shells have different penetration power towards the nucleus. Suppose 4f has less penetration power comparing to 4p. Okay, suppose 4p is there, 4f is there. Which has more penetration power? 4p has more penetration power. So it is easy to remove electron from the F shell very easily. So more the penetration power, less the ionization energy. These are the some factors on which ionization energy depends on. Okay. Next periodic property is electron affinity. Electron affinity. Coming to this one, when you are adding an electron to atom, it changes into ion, and at the same time it will release some energy. It will release some energy. This energy is called electron affinity. So when you are adding first electron, the energy released is called first electron affinity. Suppose you are adding second electron. Suppose you are adding second electron. That electron affinity is called second electron affinity. Okay, this is electron affinity. Coming to groups, from top to bottom, the electron affinity will decrease. From top to bottom, the electron affinity will decrease. And coming to periods, from left to right, electron affinity will increase. Okay, this is the main thing. You have to remember this one. How the electron affinity will vary in groups and periods. In groups from top to bottom, the electron affinity will decrease. Whereas in periods from left to right, the electron affinity will increase. The next periodic property is electronegativity. Electronegativity depends on ionization energy and electron affinity. Coming to definition of electronegativity, it is the tendency of an atom to attract electrons towards it in a bond, or when it is bonding with another atom. Suppose X is bonding with Y. So we are getting XY. Here suppose X is showing more tendency to attract electrons, then we will say X has more electronegativity. And coming to in formula, electronegativity is defined as average of ionization energy and electron affinity. Electron affinity. Okay. So electronegativity of an atom is defined as a average of ionization energy and electron affinity. Okay. Coming to groups, electronegativity from top to bottom will decrease, whereas in periods from left to right, electronegativity will increase. And coming to electronegativity of elements, the most electronegative element is fluorine. Most electronegative element is fluorine. Less electronegative element is cesium. Less electronegativity element is cesium. This is very important for bits. They will ask, what is the most electronegative element? Fluorine. What is the less electronegative element? Cesium. Okay. These are the periodic properties. Okay. Valency, atomic radius, ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity. These are the important periodic properties. Okay. We have to remember how they will change in groups and periods. In groups from top to bottom, ionization energy decreases, electron affinity decreases. In periods from left to right, it will increase. So we have to remember this in these periodic properties, how they are varying in groups and periods. Okay, thank you students, all the best for your exams.